I've been in a porn addiction single, and I've been in a porn addiction in a relationship. Today I'm going to talk about the difference. So, being in a porn addiction and being single is, of course, very lonely, it's isolating, and you end up looking at porn almost with these thoughts that I'm looking at porn and it doesn't really matter because I don't have a relationship anyway. So, what's the point? Those sort of thoughts can come up quite a lot. That's just the addicted part of the mind. And yeah, you're going to have those kind of thoughts because you're probably addicted. But you need to challenge those thoughts and see them for what they are, which is just the addicted part of the mind, trying to get you to engage in something that's really, really not good for your mental health. So I've also been in a relationship and in a porn addiction. So when I was in that relationship, I mean, I've actually been in two. So one was when I was about 16 to around 21, sort of on and off with this girl, about 5 years. And at least 2.5 years of that was like fully in a relationship. And in that time, I just was not a good person when it comes to being loyal, being faithful, being honest, having integrity. I just was not a good person in that time. And maybe you could say I was a good person, I was just doing bad things. But essentially, I cheated numerous times and I'd look at porn very often, and I honestly just lost interest in that girlfriend. I didn't care for her anymore. And looking back, I feel sad, I guess. I feel sad that that kind of happened to me. I wouldn't say there is anything wrong with me or there was ever anything wrong with me, but I was just a guy struggling in an addiction. And I felt very, very lonely then as well. So people on the internet, and even clients as well that I've worked with, they can sometimes get things muddled up and think that their porn addiction is due to them being single. But honestly, being in a porn addiction and in a relationship is just as lonely. It's just as isolating. Even if you have a relationship on paper, in your mind, you're still addicted. And so I really want to get this message out there that there is really no excuse at all. There is no excuse to look at porn. And so we want to really challenge those thoughts that come up that are along the lines of, I am struggling with porn because I'm single. That is BS. I have been in a porn addiction and struggled so much whilst in a relationship. And then with my second girlfriend, my second long-term relationship, that one lasted about a year or so. And I ended up ending things with her because I really came to the conclusion that I needed to deal with my own stuff first. I needed to overcome my porn addiction. With her, I actually told her about the whole porn stuff. With my first girlfriend, I hadn't. But with my second one, I was a lot more open by that point. And she just didn't really... I don't really think she cared too much. She was very nice and kind about it, and she was very empathetic, but that never really helped me because the addicted part of your mind does not need empathy or compassion. What it needs is someone to tell it the truth and identify all the junky thinking, all the bullshit excuses, rationalizations, excuses. I just said excuses, but we'll go with that again because it's really important, because that is what happens in addiction. The addicted part of the mind will come up with just an absolute plethora of justifications to try and keep on engaging in the compulsive behaviour. So one with my second girlfriend would be, you know what, this isn't that big a deal. It's not impacting her. It's not impacting the relationship. And she kind of let me get away with those thoughts. She would often say, oh, it's not that bad. Everyone looks at porn. It's not that big a deal. It's okay. And she was trying to be kind, and that came from a very, very well-intentioned place, but it never actually helped me. It just validated the bullshit excuses that I had already going on in my mind because I was addicted. So again, felt very lonely and frustrated and lacked energy, and I don't think I ever really told her quite how bad it all made me feel. So that was on me. What I kind of came to the conclusion with is, for me personally, I would rather get clean of porn first and then end up in a relationship if that happens. I'm not really too bothered right now either way. I am single right now. For any women watching, no, I'm joking. I couldn't resist that one. But yeah, I don't know why I said that actually. Anyway, this is the junky thinking that comes up, is that I wouldn't be single, or I wouldn't be addicted if I wasn't single. But then, yeah, actually, that's the other flip one, is like, I wouldn't be single if I wasn't addicted. Now, I would actually reverse this. Yeah, I would go with the second one that I just said there, is like, I wouldn't be single if I wasn't addicted. Well, you know what? That isn't true either, actually, because we work with guys all the time who are married, happy marriages, Some of them not so happy now though because of the porn addiction. But essentially what I'm really just trying to get across here is it doesn't really matter if you're in a relationship or if you're single. If you have addicted neural pathways, you have addicted neural pathways. And so the craving going on is inside your mind. It's not going on externally. The external world isn't causing these cravings. That's what the rest of the world will have you believe. They'll make you believe that you need to avoid all your triggers. There's like, you live in an over-sexualized society now. You live in a world where triggers are going to be absolutely everywhere, but not even that. The addicted part of your mind creates the triggers. So it is not sustainable. It is not a realistic solution to just remove triggers. It's not a sustainable solution to go and get a girlfriend and start having sex with them to try and replace the addicted part of the mind. It just does not work like that. It's just substitution. It's just junky thinking. It's the addicted part of your mind. It's all BS. So what we really need to do is one thing. We need to change the addicted neural pathways. We need to take a different route, whether you're in a happy relationship, whether you're totally single, whether you're lonely, whether you're feeling connected, all of that stuff. Let's just put it to the side for 1 minute. And when we have a craving, we make a conscious choice. We think through it and we change the addicted neural pathways by dealing and feeling that temporary discomfort that comes up. You do that enough times, it disconnects that addicted neural pathway and everything will start to change. And then what will happen if you're in a relationship is you will feel way more connected to your partner. What will happen if you're single is you'll probably have way more craving to go out into the world and maybe try and form an actual real connection with somebody in person. That's what happened to me actually, is I ended up having a lot more desire to connect with people. And whether that leads to a relationship or not, it doesn't really matter. But what I have found through my experience of quitting porn for good and actually changing my brain and healing effectively is that I now want to be with people. And if that's like a full-on relationship or whether it's just with them for a short period of time, to me, you know, it's about wanting to be with people in real life and not in a relationship with a screen. So I hope this video does help you in some way. Hope you can identify some junky thinking that can come up, whether you're in a relationship or you're single. And if you want to get some free training on how to quit porn for good, go and check out the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.